Mother Love, coming at you in the new 2024 brand new year. And who is in the building with the Mother Love? It's Mr. Prime Blaq. What's up with you, Black man?
Yes, we in the building. What it do, world?
It's coming because it's a lot of stuff to talk about. It's just so much that we can just go into. One of the things that I wanted to talk about as we have begun a new year, and people have they have New Year's resolutions. We prefer to say we have New Year's evolution. And we're coming into a new place and a greater way of thinking. And in this, our world of, gimme, 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 I want this, I want that. We're so materialistic. Oh, who's got the biggest house? Who's got the fanciest car? Who's sending their kids to the most expensive schools? What is it? And it's all about money, 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 money. Okay, the OJs, I'm sorry, I know I done messed up the singing lessons. And people are so concerned about, how am I going to get through to, for this year? How am I going to do this and that? And they think money is going to solve everything. And I just want to say to you all, that's just stupid, because money cannot buy everything.
What?
Money
In
cannot
America?
buy certain things. No, seriously, no, money cannot do everything. What do you think are some of the things that money can't buy that people really need to stop putting a dollar sign on? And they think you throw enough money at it, it'll go away.
I look at it like, this is America. Look how we live in there. Woo! This how we live in there. Woo! You can do anything you want to with money in America. This is America. How it smells with your dollar bill.
But to do anything that
Lady
you want,
of Liberty.
I mean, but really, because a lot of people feel like they could buy happiness, they could buy a husband. I was watching, and we hear it all the time, and people, coming from different nations, and they have different mores and different ceremonies, and a young lady could be beautiful, and then her father sells her off to. Is that it? Her father said she's promised to somebody else that she's never even met. They got shows on TV. If you be with this person and it's the lady and the guy, and if they don't find mates, they have to marry each other. I mean, you really think that's gonna be a solid foundation? And then you get these really, really wealthy people who say, I can buy a bride. I want her to be fertile. Is that fair to either one of them, believing that money can buy you happiness or buy you a family?
In America, sure. You get a mail order bride, packaged fresh, free delivery, smelling good coming out of the package. You want to get you a kid? You want to do anything in America? This is America.
Okay, but you think that's only here? There are other societies around the world.
We lead by example, so it has translated, and people like to mimic and copy success. What is that? The greatest form of flattery is,
imitation is the greatest form of flattery.
Yeah, so you have people who are copying the style and the swag of America. They do it. It seems cool, so people can give up their moral compass. Because none of that matters when you can actually get what you want, whatever you want and desire. Your 7 deadly sins can be tempted upon,
bought and paid for, as it were.
Paid for.
What
is your dollar amount?
Your
How
gluttony.
much will you go out for?
One of the things that I was when I first came out here to California, and I went to my first Hollywood party, and they got the spreads out there. I mean, it is just more food than a human being should even look at one time. I mean, they have carving stations where they have big giant turkeys and roast beef and lamb chops on a big spigot, and they got all this food out here, and somebody had to pay for it. Somebody had to pay for it, and the people who paid for it are like, well, I'll get them because they're gonna want to eat, everything on the menu. But thank you, call again. Okay, I had a flashback. That was me wanting to eat everything on the menu, but thank you, call again. And what I realized, and I saw, and I said, well, maybe this is because it's such a big party. All these people here with the food and everything. Then I went to my second party.
Oh yeah.
And I saw they pretty much do the same thing, have all these big elaborate spreads. And they're like, money will buy, I mean, lobster and filet mignon and Chilean sea bass and lamb chops. And the women were going in up to the food tray, up to the line, get the food on their plate and go in the bathroom and throw up because they're like, oh, I can't mess up my $10,000 gown. I just want to eat a little bit or just taste it and then I spit it out because this gown was, and I got a little purse this big and it was like $10,000. And I'm like, really?
But
So
even with
you
all
think
of
you
that
walk around in
extravagance,
a $10,000 dress and a $10,000 pocketbook, and well, you can walk around in any kind of stylish shoes that you want, but still, they're not happy. They are
even
sad. They're depressed. They're saying all this money in the world. I remember listening to, I'm not going to even call her name, but it was one of the young stars who's a really big star now. And she said, all the money that I make and all the people's lives I can help with because of what I'm doing for, being out here in the entertainment industry. And she said she was really not happy. She felt so alone with all these people around her, all the money that she has. I mean, she couldn't spend it all in a lifetime. I could spend it in a lifetime. Just let me tell you, that would not be a problem with me. But she was so sad that she had these economic means and she still felt lonely. She still felt empty. She felt like I can't, I can't buy him a big enough car. I can't put him in a big enough house. And you're still feeling empty inside. How do you fill that up? When you got all the money in the world, it's not, no, you can go any place you want to go and you still feel lonely. And I got to tell you something. I know what that feels like.
you're
And
always gonna feel empty and alone in that rat race because everybody hits the ground running in that rat race, empty and exhausted because the moment that you just hit the ground running, you're going to be exhausted because you're going to be trying to keep up with the Joneses. You're going to be trying to get the latest thing, get the hottest thing. You're always going to be chasing that vanity. And that's what most people have been captured in. That's their coffin now. People need things. And so we just left the holiday season where you got greed, gluttony, everybody needs more. We just watched a family in Florida. They lost family members because of somebody didn't get enough gifts. One teenager killed another teenager because his mother gave another one of them more than the other. And so when you're looking at things like this, it's what is that, David and Joab? Um, I think in a story where you run into these situations where people need more than they got, and people got more than they need.
now, see, that's what it is. That, and I would have never thought, and I have been accused of being a clandestine hoarder. I don't look at myself as a hoarder as much as I look at myself as a collector. Then I realize, and I collect things. I have a collection of music boxes. I have a collection of clowns. I have a collection of poodles. I have a collection of African figurines. Where I actually sat there and watched these young kids in Africa. The young guys ran up the tree. They cut down a piece of wood. They come back down the tree, and it goes down in a assembly line. And I watch my piece of wood go from a piece of wood to a tiger in motion. And I'm like, this is amazing. And I was like, okay, what am I going to do with a tiger in motion? Why do I need 300 pairs of shoes? I only got 2 feet. And I realized that if I'm doing this, I know that there are other people that are doing this. And I know a lot of it. And men, people don't understand that men can be shopaholics too. And
Yeah.
shopping does make you feel good. You get that endorphin. You get those endorphins going in your mind. You can feel that adrenaline. Oh my God, what a great sale. I remember I almost got into a fight with a woman at Christmas time because I had the 2 last Transformers that were in the store, and I had one up under my arm and one in the shopping cart. And this chick went past my shopping cart and she literally snatched the Transformer out of my shopping cart. I ran behind this chick like, lost what's up. And I was like, you really want to fight a woman for a toy for your child who's going to look at the play with a box more than he will with this? And that's when I knew you can have too much stuff. You don't need a whole lot of stuff. some of my friends, they'll say, "Oh, well, we need a space heater." Okay, wait. Call Mother Love and her husband. I bet you got five space heaters in the garage. 5 space heaters. There are two of us. Our son
We
comes in,
overdosed.
Mama, why do y'all got a TV in every single room? I don't want to miss nothing. You don't need a TV in the bathroom. I saw that at a hotel, and then I wanted a TV in the bathroom. What did I need a TV in the
When
bathroom?
you don't have, you want more.
You want more.
And when you come from the mentality and a tangible environment of poverty, and your whole psychoanalysis of everything is impoverished, you're gonna want to, the moment that you get a piece of candy, the moment you get a drop of water on your tongue, oh, this is the best taste of water I've ever had in my life. Oh, I got me a Maserati now. Oh, this is the best. Oh, the watch. Oh, it looks really darling. Oh, the moment you get that desire for anything, you're gonna not want to let it go. And that's the thing that most people have an issue with, is letting go, having the discipline to be able to have uh, the capacity to say no, even to yourself. We might say no and run up the nose on any and everybody that we come
Mm-hmm.
across in life, but when it comes to ourselves, looking at ourselves in the mirror, sometimes we really will. It'll be a hard thing to say no. We won't hold our own selves accountable. We'll be in denial of that. Like, dang, I do have a money problem. Dang, I do overindulge on things that really don't make no sense. Like, why did I subscribe to that? Oh, and now your
When did
account
I
is
order?
overdraft.
And now with the internet, when did I order that? I
Mm,
mean, I remember I did all of my Christmas shopping one year because I have a thing. I had a thing about the internet, and it's so evil, and there are mean people in there, and there are evil and mean people online and in the internet and the dark web and all of that. There are more good people than there are bad people, and I realized that I don't need all this stuff. I want all this stuff. I had to learn the difference between a need and a want. And most of us, I was of the mindset, I'd rather have it and don't need it than need it and don't have it. That was my justification for having 300 something pairs of shoes and, 11 belts that I needed a boomerang to get around my waist,
yeah.
and all this other kind of stuff. What in the world? And then I talked to this lady. Oh, I can't remember her name. I see her face plain as day.
Mhm.
She said she the first person to call me a hoarder. And I was like, I'm not a hoarder. She said, well, why you got all this? I had so many clothes. And this was when I was a big woman. I had so many clothes in my closet, a big, huge walk-in closet, so many clothes on my side. And I had put some of my clothes on my husband's side. He didn't
Mhm.
have as many pieces as I did, or more shoes. And one day we're in the bed and we don't know. We hear something. It sounded like a bomb came through the window. The rack, a wooden rack, the wood rack. This wasn't no, cheese. The wooden rack had collapsed because there was so many clothes
Wow.
on that pole. And to this day, I wouldn't have been able to wear all of that at any time. And I remember after I lost weight, I was like, oh, I got beautiful designer things. Okay. I donated them to Dress for Success.
And that's what I wanted to know too, is eh, with the things that you are, those are layers that are coming off and shedding with you. Are you able to let those go?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and my thing was was letting them go with no like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm giving this away. I am no, my giving to other people. They say I'm a great philanthropist. Like, I
yeah.
got two pieces of dust to rub together, and I can make. Listen, Jesus said I can feed all these 5,000 people with a bushel of fish and 5 bushels of bread. Okay, I'm just trying to feed like 550,
Yeah.
and to know that I could relinquish them for somebody else to enjoy. And then I got to a place. My husband said, okay, honey, you just can't keep giving away the furniture. I have a short attention span.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay, I'm tired of that. Somebody come and get it. My uncle would back up a truck. He'd get a back up a truck. You come and get because I have to let go of things to make room for new things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I realized in letting go of things and wanting new things, I didn't need that many new things. What I wanted was quality.
And that's me. I purchase with utility.
Mhm,
Anything that I have has multiple utilities to it because
mhm,
you want to be able to consolidate yourself down. I think a book that I read was called The Essentialist. Can you live or
mhm,
Emergency by Neil Strauss, book by Neil Strauss.
mhm.
To be able to consolidate your life down into one confined, concentrated amount of where you can be able to carry. Could you be able to live with 100 items? Whether it's one pair of jeans and stuff like that.
Wait
So,
a minute. Okay. Okay. That I just had a flashback because we saw that same piece,
mhm,
and I said, I can do that. I got so much stuff. I can do that. I can, make sure I probably have enough makeup for 5 people, at least 5 women.
mhm,
I have enough wigs. I can share that. And so when the guy said, can you break your life down to 100 items?
mhm.
Enough that you can carry. That's what he said. Enough that you can carry. And I thought I could do that. My husband laughed for about 20 minutes. He said, "Go ahead, try it. I want you.
Yeah,
I just want you." This is what he said. I just want you to go on to your dresser. Just go to your vanity, honey. And I want you to pick out what items you would keep on there. And I said, but I need this and I need that. He said, "Well, you done picked up 127 items on my vanity."
wow.
I felt so bad. I was like, I got way too much stuff. And that's when I started. Well, I've always been, I come from the
Mm,
projects in Cleveland, and we had hand-me-downs. They call them repurposed now. You don't have leftovers; you have repurposed meals. I'm good
oh,
at
yeah.
that. And we have too much in this country. I mean, we waste. You think about the waste of food
Oh,
and
yeah. That's
hungry
definitely a that's
people.
yeah. Yeah, we can definitely maximize our resources and be able to really take a conscientious look at ourselves as how much we're wasteful as far as in the very core things, whether it's our own time, how much
Mhm.
time we waste, how much time we're not even taking in consideration for ourselves, how much food that we waste, how much and the quality of food and the quality of everything that we have. So when it looks at money, when you're trying to buy things, some people will skimp on things when it comes to the quality. You'll buy quality just because, oh, it's inexpensive. I need something right now, but it's not providing the essentialism that you need in your life to make sure that you can feel happy because people will buy and have a bunch of money and purchase things, but then you pile up and then you end up dissatisfied at the end of the day. So to try to mitigate that, you will overextend yourself trying to compensate for that. And you end up in this Ouroboros, this horrible cycle of
Mhm.
contingency
Mhm.
of holding on to all of these things, and you can't let go. And so the most dangerous thing between somebody is a helpless man or woman and their dollar. And that's where our construct has gotten to where people are doing the most devious and diabolical things to their own neighbors and their own friends, their
To
own
their
family
families.
members,
They
and
doing
then
it in
we
their
come back
just
around and
didn't
celebrate
you just
again.
didn't you just mention a family in Florida where the boy shot up the family because one got more presents than he did?
Yeah,
This is what we're doing commercially. This is
yeah,
what we're showing our children, that the more you have, the better you are. And that's not the case. It really is. That's not it. You got to be content where you are. And I had to learn to be content. I had to learn to be. I was a shoe fanatic when I was growing up, and when the one thing that I was immersed in when I do my thing is shoes and handbags. And I could have on a $10 dress outfit from the secondhand store, it's a wrap or someplace, and have on a $300 pair of shoes. And my limit on pocketbooks is like 475 because I could wear out a purse, and a woman needs a good purse, a good pocketbook, a good bag that can take the wear and tear. Because we can put. I had a pocketbook one time that was big enough to put one of my grandchildren in when they were babies. It was like this big,
mm,
and it technically was a piece of Samsonite luggage. I just tie-dyed it and used it, and I tried to fill it up to the rafters. Whatever place I moved into, I tried to fill everything up except the corners, up to the rafters, because I don't want to need it and don't have it, and have it and don't need it.
yeah,
And that's been my mantra. And I don't need a lot of things. I had to make that conscious transition to what do you need and what do you want. And when I look back at it right now, Only thing I want is a stack of money because I got all the more else stuff.
Yeah.
That's why they take my credit cards from me because I am good with it for the most part. But still, I know that you can be low and you could be lonely when you got a pocket full of money. I remember one of the times I had to travel by myself. And they got me gussied up. I'm looking like 100 million bucks. Stretch limousine comes and get me. The lady told me, she said, I'm gonna show you how your feet. She says a star's feet will never touch the ground. And I remembered that I could walk out of my house into the limousine, feet never touch the ground. They help you in, and I was on my way to the airport. I don't even remember where I was going. And I'm watching all the scenery in New York and New Jersey. And all I was thinking about, I wish my family and I wish my husband could be here with me to enjoy this. I want my son to be here with us to enjoy this. And it was like, I'm doing this for them. And I do this because of them. And when I came home and told him, my husband said, you don't have to worry about I don't ever want you to feel like you're in this by yourself because you are not. And that was so important to me to know that my partner said, I got you, girl. It's all right. And we get low. And when you say, and money can make you get low because you think what you said, we'll go and overextend
And
ourselves,
yeah, and that's
especially over the holidays. This is the beginning of the new year. And I know there's some people going, what the Sam H.E. double hotties was I thinking spending all that money on Christmas? And it's on Hanukkah. I just seen, listen, I got
and they
Jewish
still
kids in my
dissatisfied.
family. Oh, look, they
And
go
that's
broke.
and then we run into the issue where people are still not satisfied even with that. So it's the inevitable disappointment, just like we spoke about earlier with the events where you build up these extravagant and gargantuan events, and people come there, and you still got one person who dress up all real snooty and just to come and say, "I'm still not satisfied. This ain't enough money spent here. They didn't fulfill my needs." So when it comes down to even breaking it down to the relationships now, where people have taking out their own partners, just significant others, because they felt like they inevitably disappointed them. And in the times that we're living in right now, the polarizations of people losing their jobs and crazy things are going on around the world is causing people to really have that anxiety, and that anxiety is being enabled, and it's another gateway to substance abuses. So I want people to be very mindful about what you're doing and in the directions of what you're committing yourself to, because sometimes we may impulsively commit ourselves to the peer pressure of people economically and businesses that really are not they're superficial to the utility that we really need in our lives right now. And so we really need to dial back on our own selves and recognize that the things that we do may actually become a problem, because look how much look how much of a problem that you may have overextended or forced things, and it caused a problem, whether it's with yourself or your relationship or your job. So you need to really take in consideration what you're committing yourself to, especially financially, emotionally, spiritually. They all tie into each other because of the dynamic and the culture that we created in America and around the world. So I think we just need to pay attention more to each other and just kind of have the discipline now to just be like, you know what, I'm not gonna buy that item that I typically buy, knowing that it may taste good, but it really ain't good for my health. I'm gonna stop purchasing these things that I puff, knowing that I want to really get back outside and start jogging and get some sunlight on my skin. Like we need to start actually getting back into knowing that
Yeah.
the money is not gonna buy you the happiness. My happiness is gonna be able to make the money out of that. Once you start doing the things that's really going to make you happy, and you got to be at your own place of peace, that's where it's going to bring you joy. Because if you don't do that, you're going to become the opposite of that, where you're going to have the misery. And then yes, a lot of people that have come from horrible situations and circumstances where you didn't have anything. I was one of them. A lot of us are, and we came from nothing and we made something out of it, and we do it with a smile on our face, because why? All I need is God's grace and mercy, because
And
I
that
don't want to be tempted by the
you
wicked world.
cannot buy. You cannot
Not
buy
right now.
favor. I don't care how much money you put into the church. If your heart is not right, you know your heart is not right, and you're tithing to the church and you're expecting an outcome, and it should be directly to you. And that's not what it's for. That is for the betterment of the community, of the church family. And that's one of the things that God said, be humble. Don't get so proud. Don't let your head get so big that you can't lean over, bend over, stoop down, sit on the ground with somebody, because that could be you. There, but for the grace of God go I. If I'm not paying attention and I'm doing it with, I'm gonna help you out, and I'm expecting something from you, and then you don't get it, and now you mad. Now you mad because you think I did a good thing for so and so and such and such. I can't believe they're treating me like this. Okay, so you were looking for something other than your kindness. You
Ulterior
want
motive.
you wanted it to be reciprocated to you. And I don't think with kindness you shouldn't expect anything. You should just do that out of the goodness of your heart, so that your heart is not hardened, that you're not, filled with stone. And it's great. Like, and I say this where the scripture says it's just easy to love the people
Yeah.
who are easy to love. You really want to love somebody and show your compassion, love somebody, make an effort to love somebody who it's difficult to love, because they could be in a dark place. They
Yeah.
could be in a sad place. They could be having money issues. And I mean, and the way things are going, it's a good thing I don't have an automobile, because I probably would have been, I don't have, I haven't had a car in my name in 22 years.
I
And
mean,
that's something that I always say, oh, I need to have I want to have a fleet of cars. I want to have all the fancy cars. I want to have at least 22 cars. And I went, to do what with, honey?
mm.
You can't drive with one of them at a time. And then I drove a school bus for many years, and I was like, I don't want to drive unless I have to.
and
Plain and
it,
simple. I
and
worked
it's
for the telephone company as an operator. I hated being on the phone. I mean, literally hated being on the phone. I would sit there and could zone out on my phone. And he would say, well, honey, why you didn't answer the phone? I don't feel like talking to nobody. I'll go to work and talk to people on the phone. I had to change that mindset as well, because it's not always about me. It's not always about you. Let it be about other people. Show that you have compassion. You got too many pairs of pants. I mean, how many pairs of shoes do one person need? Somebody else could do that. And it's a great way to clean out your closet for stuff that you don't have. And so I started this rule, especially with my clothes and shoes. If I haven't had it on in 2 years, it's going out the door. Okay. And I didn't realize that I had several women do this. We'll buy pieces, the tags will be on them, they'll be in a closet. We forget we got them, and you take it on, you up. I know I didn't spend that kind of money on so and so and so. Well, I knew I didn't, because my favorite four-letter word is sale. So I'm not paying for a price for nothing. That's your first price. That's your first price. You
yeah.
can barter, but still, I didn't need that many pairs of shoes. I didn't need that many clothes. Somebody else could use that and utilize that, and they were in really great shape. And I remember the director at Dress for Success. As they were pulling the racks into the door, she said, "Oh," she started to cry, and I said, "What's the matter? You don't think these will be good?" She said, you don't even know what you've done for us." And I was like, "What?" Because you never know who's watching you. She said, "These women, this will be the first time most of them had on almost brand new clothes, because a lot of them had the tags on them." And I took that for granted.
Yeah.
I took that for granted. I took it for granted. I'm thinking women should have 15, 20 bras, have 30 of them, to wear a different one every day. I didn't realize that I was a closet hoarder, if those two could even be put together. But I've gotten better,
Yeah.
because I know the things that I need in my life, the things that I want in my life, money can't buy them. But they can buy a trip to the Super Bowl. I'm just saying. The
But
people
it's
say money don't buy happiness, and the people that say money don't buy happiness, they behinds is broke. So I know I'd be a happy as a sissy and boy. Shut up, mother love.
And that's what I feel like what it does provide the comfort and the convenience that we do need in our life to keep us going in whatever capacity we desire to keep going in. And so, yeah, I think people at heart, at their core heart, all love each other and genuinely care. Like that's what the essence we come from as. I think it's capitalism don't have no cares for our emotions and feelings. Capitalism cares about that capital. And so I think a lot of people, their ego tries to feed into getting capitalism to love them, and so when it doesn't, it makes them feel like, oh, I gotta earn your love back for me, so that people will do the most devious and diabolical things to get where they need to get to. If I gotta work this job, if I gotta lock this person up for life, and then, oh man, now they can't sleep. Now you can't sleep good because you did what you needed to do for the money, 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 and because that now it's haunting you. Now you find yourself backtracking. And I think
Mhm,
people need to recognize how money has really affected people's psychological ability to even coexist around each other, because you got people who are looking around and they're that paranoid, just feeling like the angst that they got to get something productive out of their day that's going to feed themselves. But then again, tell that to a person who's outside in the winter cold right now, and
mhm,
then who doesn't have that, who doesn't have a piece of bread to eat. And just like you said, when we have to shed some of these things that we have, like, hey, I may have had a bunch of shoes or jackets, and to be able to bless somebody, and that's typically what I do when I come back home. I always
mhm,
just come back and be like, here's a bag of clothes to somebody that
mhm.
I see out there who really needs it. And I think that we need to start doing that more often now, is going out there and taking heed to the environment that we have, because most of these companies that have been out there ain't really caring anymore. They're not really doing what they're saying they're doing. The numbers
Mhm.
are not really showing, and people are really resonating and seeing that and being like, "Oh, whoa, let's pull back. Let's really see what's really going on." And I feel like it is. We've made a lot of mistakes because of them.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
we've
we
really
have.
hurt each other, and we've traumatized each other, and we've really taken things overboard, and we've done things and said things, and there's things that we can't come back from. There's things that people have done to each other that you can't come back from because of it. So I think we all need to
As
humble that
long as
heart and
I
be able to
believe as
sit
long
back
as
and
people are alive,
yeah,
even for the most horrific crime, uh, they could be forgiven. I remember when there was a church massacre where the young boy went down to the church and they prayed with him, and he prayed with them, and then he opened fire and killed multiple people because he said that's what he heard in his head. And the one of the children, the adult children of one of the people that was murdered, she said, I mean, she just took my breath away when she said he took a lot away from us and he took a lot away from himself and his family. I am not going to hold this grudge against him. I forgive him
yeah,
because that would hurt me to not forgive him and let that go. I can't bring my mother back. I can't bring the pastor back. I can't bring none of my church congregants back. I can say, I see you as a human
thank
being. And he was really, really hurting really bad to be able to go in there. Somebody put so much poison in his head to think that that was going to be all right. And he, like she said, he hurt their families and he hurt his own family. I mean, I don't, and people think you could just throw money at it, throw money at it, they got a TV show on. I think,
you.
oh, I don't want to call it a cable station because I can't, but it's called, I don't know. Have you seen this show called Your Honor?
Oh yeah, Your Honor, yeah.
Okay, they throwing all kind of money at problems, and it's not going away. That was just to bring that up because money can't do a whole lot of stuff. It can. We realize that we together collectively as human beings on this planet, it
Yeah,
is our responsibility to take care of the health of each other, take care of the health of ourselves, and take care of the health of our planet. People who say, "Oh, there's no big deal about climate change," y'all really need to go somewhere, sit down on the beach and
oh
pound
yeah,
sand because you stuck on stupid, paused on ignorant, parked on dumb, and you got to get up.
yeah.
Okay,
To be
I
thinking.
got something else I want to talk about in the
Oh
new
yeah,
year. Having been
that's
a
a good
plus size
point to
woman.
bring in for everybody to
Oh,
recognize
I'm
that.
sorry. Go ahead. I'm
That's
sorry.
a
Say it again.
this just a conversation just to conclude it. It's just this is a great point that people spend a lot of money on average during the holiday season,
Mm.
that people need to be mindful, and they may have gotten a gift for somebody who they didn't like that gift. And so be mindful of the things that we're doing and how we're spending, and like, hey, work on your happiness. If you're thinking that the purchasing things or going out of your way and going above and beyond to try to keep up with everything out there, stop. Just stop and go get in some nature. Go take a walk.
You
Go talk to
know,
your family and friends. Go do something different than what you're doing. Because look what is causing ripples in families across the world.
and
So
it's across the world. And we can do better. And because we know better, we ought to be doing better. And in 2024, let's not take this crap anymore. Just stop and understand that you are responsible for your life. You are responsible for your community. You are responsible for your fellow brothers and sisters in the community. And before we go to the next subject, that I want to talk about luluemon, I just want to give a shout out to the business in a bucket people. They were on my show a while ago. Hey babies, and Mr. NC guy, he's there, and Ms. McKenzie has joined us, and Mr. I know who that is, Mr. N.S. Kelly. Hi, babies. Thank you for joining our program. It's actually people that know me. Okay. Okay. I know. Hey, Lanita Womack, she said I knew I had to stop buying when I had brought the same pair. That's my friend. She said I knew I had to stop buying when I had bought the same pair of shoes twice. This year, I am concentrating on purging for the vets and women in domestic violence shelters. And see, that's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of love we need to spread, and I understand what she's saying. I had 330 pair of shoes, and 100 pair of them were black. They were Otiswai, they were suede, they was pumps. I had Stuart Weitzman, I had Ferragamo, Salvatore Ferragamos, you name it, I had it. I even have me a pair of red bottom shoes that they have never been outside. Because that's not what he gave them. My husband bought me those shoes. I can't wear them outside. Hey, Mark in Cleveland. Hey, my hometown people. Thank you so much. Go tell everybody. You said, hey, Mother Love. There go Joe Lewisburg. Hey, love, Mother Love. Hey, Loretta. She came. See, I got people that love me. You got people that love you, and let them know that you love them. Don't sit up and say, oh, last year I kept saying, oh, I got to call so-and-so and such and such. I haven't talked to so-and-so. Pick up the phone, call them, email them, text them. I know I'm lax on that too, and I want to be able to do that. I said I wasn't going to be lax. I understand the brand, and I got to keep it because I'm your girl. Speaking of brands, I was reading this article about the former CEO of luluemon clothing line. They sell leggings. They peddle leggings, and and they're a good quality from what I understand. And people have been giving him, like some kind of pushback because he said their brand is not for plus size people. They don't like fat people. It's not for fat women. This is their brand, and their brand is to, it's not built for the plus size community. And you know that they're not built for them because if you are bigger size, you're gonna be able to see through them. So that's when you know that. Luluemon said that the former CEO, he said that they're not made for that's not their market, and there's certain people that you're not catering to. Your brand is to your brand, and people who say, well, you're not making it for plus size women. So do you think that he's fat shaming, or he's right to say that their brand is not for everybody?
It's the inevitable disappointment, because if he crosses either line, it's just going to be bad for business. Like if there is a business for the plus size women that have that, then sure, then that ends the conversation right there. But if you're trying to squeeze into this conversation, just like you're trying to squeeze into some luluemon that you know that you can't squeeze into, then let it go. There's no need to be worrying about there if you can actually go to another store and buy another product and stop tripping.
And see, I said the same thing. I was a plus size woman. Well, they still say I'm considered a plus size woman, even at a size 12. And I'm like, okay, don't you know the average American woman wears a size 14 and up? Okay, then that's not their market that they're catering to. They're catering to, athletic people, women who are into fitness. And I don't know why they think big people are not into fitness as well. But women were getting they felt slighted because he came out and he said, well, our brand is not for plus size people. And, they started getting offended. I mean, but okay, why are you offended? Okay, he said the brand is not, you're not his market. It's just like you wouldn't market to me pipe tobacco. I'm not a smoker. You wouldn't market to me about, whatever it is that I don't do. You can't market to me any kind of pork product, beef product. I don't eat beef and pork. I'm not their customer. I don't understand why women are upset, and you plus size. Oh, and I be on them too. I'm like, this is what I can't stand. I see my big girls come out, and they are beautiful. I mean, they are stunning. Carry this, and then they got on a dress or a skirt that they got to keep constantly pulling it down. Every time they sit down, you can look up their dress and see, they panties and they pie line and everything. You got to wear a bigger size. Pretending that you are a size 10 and you're a size 16, it don't work. So then this is what the plus size clothing market has done. They've gone from like they used to say we were 1X, 2X, 3X, and however many X's you could go up to. And now they're putting in one for one size 2, 3, 4, 5. So a plus size woman that wears a 5X, she would only in the olden days, now she would wear a 5, and to go in and say, oh, I can wear a size 5. You're fooling yourself. You can't that switching the labels to me is not helpful. I didn't think that was helpful. You got the plus size line, Lane Bryant, Ashley Stewart, Torrid for the young girls. They have beautiful clothes to fit your body size. Just because they make it in your size don't mean you should wear it. I don't think this is just me. I do not think, and I don't say this to people's face, because, and they're not quality leggings, because when you put them on and they're stretched so far, you can see their flesh on the inside. And I don't think that's what they meant. And people got to get over that. If you're a big girl, be a big girl. I stood in my big girlness. I was in it. I was happy. I didn't have any problem and I didn't come from a family. And all of us were big girls. Show you all of us were big girls. I was the smallest one in the bunch. And they all look good. They had no problem with getting men, husbands, having kids, or anything like that. Because we found out that what a man finds sexy is in a woman, and most women don't even understand this. Men find confidence to be really sexy. Men find elegance to be really sexy. You don't have to come out there and cuss like a sailor. You don't have to do all that. You need to be comfortable in your own skin. I remember when my husband and I were dating, I said, well, so what's the attraction that you have for me? And he would say, because you can walk in and command the room. Everybody wanted to hang out with you. Everybody wanted to be around you because I was a good person to be around. So you got to be a good person to be around you. You got to be your best company. Let me ask you this. Have you ever been out to dinner by yourself?
Yes, I have, all the time. I've traveled the whole country. I've been to 46 states, and I've eaten at a lot of the vegan restaurants around the whole country. So I think that's very important that you treat yourself and find your happiness and your comfortabilities, your tranquility, your integrity, that you can be able to stand and hold yourself in high renounce and high regard. That you can be comfortable in your own skin and be confident, as you say. I'm at peace with myself. Is there always rooms for improvement and upgrading? That's every step of the day. That's every move that I make. You should always want to operate at a high octane all day, every day. So I think it's shark marketing for people, where you get forced to support companies that you don't need to support. But I think that's what the capitalism is the people are addicted to. They have to do something and support it and buy it. Like, why would you buy some peanut butter and you have a peanut allergy? Like, it don't make no sense. Just because your friend is like, that's their business, don't mean that you get on a commercial and put a glob of peanut butter in your mouth and then you break out on camera. Like, we need to stop just doing things just to do things and then get mad at the result after the fact. Like, you knew that you weren't supposed to be doing these things or overindulging or buying these things. You could have actually used something for more utility by actually buying more equipment for your own tool set or something like that, or actually putting the money into investing into your own business finally, and stop working for a company that can't stand you or you can't stand them. And so it's time to have that extreme encouragement and that extreme bravery to actually step up to yourself and hold yourself accountability when it comes to financial spending like that. And then your own image of how you want to perceive yourself.
Right.
Your presentation is your best representation. So for me, I like to be able to dial back and be at peace when I'm out and about. Like, I want to do things for my own self, not to impress nobody but myself when I'm doing things like that. Like, people got to stop doing things to impress
everybody else except yourself.
There's so much.
And there are times when you really do need to pat yourself on the back. You need to toot your own horn. You need to say, hey, I could work this. I could rock with this. Just make sure that you feel good about it, and it's like just like with the luluemon former CEO, I didn't take what he said to be rude or disrespectful. He just spoke the truth. He just said spend your money someplace else if you're a plus size person, because we're not your brand, you're not our
Exactly.
market. And that's okay too. There are people that, I mean, even though they do have knockoffs down in there, and shut up, mother love, don't be giving away the secrets.
Yeah.
Women want to carry a Chanel bag or a Kate Spade or Dooney and Board. Oh, did I just rattle off the three of my favorites?
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
Because I'm rough on the bag. It's a good thing I got a husband. My husband is rough on cars and women. I didn't say women. I said and women. And you listen, and he keep me on my toes. You got to keep it moving.
Yeah.
Otherwise you get stale, you get stagnant. I remember when I lost all the weight at the first time, people were like, dude,
Mm,
I mean, what's up? What? He like, look, I got a new wife, but I'm having to divorce my wife.
mm.
And one of the things he had never said to me as a plus size woman, he never ever in the 1100 years we were together, he never called me out of my name. He was never derogatory toward me. He never said, I remember one time I asked him, I think I told you this, I said, well honey, do I look fat in this dress? And he said, well, baby, you're fat in all your dresses.
Yeah.
you know, and the chicks would be like, I can't believe he said that to you. I'm like, he wasn't lying.
Mhm.
That wasn't the question. See, women asked the wrong question.
Yeah.
The question was wrong. Do I look fat in this dress? Yes, baby, because you look fat in all your dresses.
Yeah.
My question should have been, honey, do I look good in the dress? He's like, yeah, you can take that off and get the party. I'm like,
Mhm.
he's so managed, and you got to learn to ask the right questions.
But that's a person that's standing in support with you as
Right.
you're going through and building your encouragement and your confidence as well. So be able to have partnership and to be able to have family and friends and community and union, to be able to have that. We all need that support, because being alone is a lonely feeling. There's a lot of people that were probably alone for the Christmas season or holiday season, Thanksgiving, or anything outside in the bare cold, having
Mhm.
nothing to be able to extend. So it's like, a lot of people got mad because of the gift they got. Some people got mad because they didn't get a gift. Treat yourself to your own gift.
Okay,
Like,
and just how petty is that? I
yeah,
mean, we've commercialized Christmas, and from what I had heard about the baby Jesus, where the baby Jesus was born in the fall during the harvesting time, and that man moved it to December to get the year end their year end booty up when they were on like the department stores. It was to help the vendors at the end of the year to boost their sales. If they
yeah,
had a slow summer or whatever, you
yeah,
gonna make it up at Christmas time. They started showing Christmas stuff, and Halloween hadn't even got here yet.
yeah.
Hadn't even got here. And just for the record,
But it's
the
still the
best thing
whole
about
year.
Halloween for me is being able to get the orange lights to go with my Kwanzaa stuff. I hate
Yeah.
Halloween.
But that's every holiday during the whole year. How much money? That's why I say the average spending is almost $7,000 a year that people spend on holidays. All the holidays throughout the whole year. Every weekend, there's something going on. There's an event. There's a UFC fight. There's, I got to go to this festival, this
Right.
carnival. I got to do all. So throughout the whole year, we're spending ourselves fluctuating through this roller coaster of financial spending. I think we just need to understand, like, all of these brands are fishing for you, but take time out to just like sit back and understand what you're doing and how you may be affecting everybody around you. And I think
And
that's just important. We need to just take the time out, take some time out, take yourself out, you
and
know?
do that same exercise for yourself. Just take a reassessment of your life. I do that every, like, in mid-December. I start taking things out. I'm like, okay, I don't need this, I don't need that. And like I said, if I haven't seen it or worn it or used it in 2 years, it's going. We're gonna
Yeah.
have a shipment going to the Salvation Army shortly. And I remember one time I had gave away a lot of stuff after Dress for Success. And so I, was getting them together, and I go to one of the secondhand stores around
Mhm.
my area,
Yeah.
and I just so happened to go in one of the secondhand stores. This was so funny. Well, it was funny to me. And I saw the designer jackets and suits that I had given to that particular Goodwill, and I
Mhm.
was like, wait a minute, they sold this jacket for a lot of over here in the Salvation Army. Maybe I should have got my stuff back. Or whichever one it was, the Goodwill Salvation Army. I kind of split it up. But it did my heart. I had a little flutter to know that they took care of the jackets and the suits that I gave, and they were on the rack. And so I'm in the store with probably one of my granddaughters, and she says, you got a jacket just like that. And I opened it up because a lot of my jackets have my monogram, my mother love monogram in them. And I said, open it up and see if you see. She goes, here's your, and I said, shh, be quiet. I don't need to know that that's the one I donated. But that was so cool. That was so cool. And you never know who's going to think you're cool, because you never know who's watching you. You don't know what the kids are saying. You don't know what they're thinking. One of my granddaughters said to me the other day, I was talking about something, and people coming in. I said, I don't have that many people. And she said, oh no, you and Papa have friends over all the time. I said, really? She said, I know more of your friends. I know a lot of your friends.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I thought about that. That's really rare that your grandchildren know the grandparents' friends.
Wow.
That we spend that time together. And so you can spend that time, de-hoarding. Is that a word, de-hoarding? Cleaning out your closets, cleaning out your all the stuff that you don't use. Give it to a shelter. Donate it to the Salvation Army or the Goodwill. Take it. If you, like, I got stuff, from my Hollywood
Habitat
days.
for Humanity.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of places and resources where people can actually donate their things. And so if people go to motherloveshow.com this weekend, I'll set up those resources. It'll be a resource page where you can be able to do these things and try to find one in your local area where you can be able to help out and donate and do things like that. So
well, thank you very much, Prime Blaq. That was very, very sweet of you.
Yeah.
We work well as a team.
Because I think we need to serve.
All of us can work well as a team.
Yeah.
We have to not be so greedy about everything. We don't need to hold on to everything, because if you got your fist balled up like this all the time, how are you going to get your blessings? If your fist is always balled up, how are you going to get your blessings? How will you receive your blessings?
Amen.
And there are blessings out here for you to have access to. There are people that you can have access to. I mean, when you think about it, we doing our thing and everything, and we want you to be a part of that. That's why I'm glad the business in the bucket. Oh, Albert, hey, Albert. They hanging with us, Prime.
They hang
Tell
with
your
us.
friends, tell your family. This is a show that your kids. Oh, and maybe your kids can't listen to it because I had to top over their head. They need to be in school anyway. So watching what we're doing, be mindful of what you're spending your money on. Money is tight.
Yeah.
There are certain things you can do. One of my.
It's expensive to be cool. It's expensive to be cool.
Oh my goodness, it's expensive to be so trendy. Oh my God. That's why you get timeless pieces.
Yeah.
And the more seasoned you are, hey, Joe, she said, I'm watching you. I'm sending kisses to you, baby. To be able to share that with other people. You can't wear but one pair of shoes at a time. You can't drive with one car at a time. Now, I can understand having two cars or all the adults having cars, because everybody's going in a different direction. I was surprised when I came out here and everybody was driving. Even the kids that drove a big wheel had a driver's license, because you cannot go any place for the most part in Southern California that you could just actually walk to.
Oh, yeah.
We used to walk all the way down from 55th and Quincy all the way down to the flats. Out here, you walking down the street, you have to literally drive to the grocery store. And I remember I said, I'm going to walk to the grocery store, and found out it's 15 minutes there and 15 minutes back. That's my 30 minutes. We want to put too much on it. Oh, I don't want to go to the gym. Oh, I don't feel like exercising. Oh, I don't feel like getting old and feeling cranky either. But it's going to happen. You live long enough. So take care of your pieces, parts. And take care this year, y'all. Let's focus on our mental health, especially people in my community. If nobody else needs therapy, we need therapy.
I'm in therapy right now.
Therapy. Mothers need therapy. Fathers need therapy. It's not something to be ashamed of. Even if you don't go to a therapist, if it's getting on your nerve, call Mother Love. Y'all can call me up. I got a phone number. My husband paid the phone bill. You could call me up. My number is 929-477-3888. 3088. Again, that's 929-477-3088. So you can, or you can email me at themotherloveshow@gmail.com. You can get in touch with me through TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Restream, Streaker, and some more else stuff. It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's a lot of buttons. Yeah, I know I'm not good with buttons. They tell me I can't find the sign. Don't touch the buttons. That's a shame. And I'm gonna try new things. What is some of the new things you're gonna want to try during this year? Blaq during this year.
I think for me, I think the new things that I'm gonna do this year is actually stepping more into my purpose of just like being able to speak to the people. I think they need to be able to hear that information that's out there and be able to receive that energy. And I think it's very important and validated that we keep staying close and keeping ourselves guarded and protected as much as possible from things that are distracting us and keeping us away from our true purpose in life. So I think we need to be able to do that.
Oh, that looks beautiful on camera. Look at my stone.
So
okay, there you go.
I think people just need to
into crystals
affirm everything a lot more. I think it's just important. I think everybody need to watch the documentary The Secret. I think that will really help a lot of people out. Speaking positive affirmations in your life. 3 words to go by for this year's your New Year's evolution is focus, consistency, and positivity. I want you guys to think about that. Be more focused on what you need to be focused on, and be consistent with it. Do not sway. Do not deter yourself. Don't get distracted. Stay consistent with it, regardless of how much you don't want to get up. Let's start getting up every morning. Everybody get on New York time. Let's get up and let's do the things that we need to do and get back to going the way that we need to. Because we ran into a lot of hiccups and we lost a lot of things, but we got a whole lot of space to be able to gain. So gain back that relationship with yourself. Get yourself back whole if you feel empty. Get you some sunshine if you've been in a dark place. Get you some sunshine.
And let me just say this. The sun is good for a Black woman's skin. I know a lot of people don't need to be in the sun, but see, I got a natural protector. Oh, and I do use sunscreen, so let's not get stupid. Yeah. I don't know why Black people don't think they need sunscreen. The sun will burn you just like it'll burn anybody else, and you need to know, I don't know what happened. Did you use sunscreen? No, I thought that was just for white people. Like they talk about the climate change is just for white people. So we don't get. You don't think we breathe in air? We ain't breathing the same air. Yeah. Every time I think about that, I think about Herschel Walker. Shut up, mother love. Well, he ain't no business coming out there talking about we got some good air and we got some bad air. Then the good air and the bad air is gonna mix and it's gonna blow over everybody else, and we just gonna have the good air.
Oh,
shut up. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. No, I'm lying. I was making fun of him because it was terrible.
It was terrible.
It was terrible.
And
watching what's going on. That's why we got to get mindful. Like you said, we got to be mindful. We got to be purposeful. And we have to be consistent. It's so many things that are going on. And I know a lot of people, might not want to get involved in politics, but pay attention to who your leaders are in your community. Find out who your councilman or your ombudsman is, or your alder person. Find out who is your council person. Find out who the mayor is, the deputy mayor. You just never know. Connections are important, and don't just build them up and just leave them by the wayside. You got to cultivate a relationship, and you got to cultivate the best relationship that you can ever have is between you, yourself, and your God. Yeah. You get yourself together where you are comfortable in your own skin, and you realize that you just not here by happen chance. It's not I'm willy-nilly. They just made a mistake. That's not the case.
Yeah, pull up.
Ain't nowhere in the world you should ever think you are a mistake.
No,
you're here for a reason.
Yeah, come together. You guys can come together.
Find mindful people who are mindful like you are. Yeah. Get yourself a team together. We got Team Mother Love. You want to be on the team? Come on, join the team. Because you know what? There's safety in numbers, and we could raise a lot of ruckus and wreak havoc and run them up, but in a good way. John Lewis said. John Lewis says, "Get into trouble. Get into good trouble.
Fun trouble.
There's a such thing as good trouble. When you stand up, when you know there's injustices in places around your community, around your job, get involved.
Yeah, pull up.
Excuse me. Make sure you go, if you got kids in school, make sure you go to the school board meetings, because they got these women out here that's just talking all like the Saturday neck. They talk about the kids can't read these certain kind of books. I can't believe that we are in the
We're gonna
21st century in
yeah.
2024, and we actually have a bobblehead policy. I call you bobblehead to your face. To your face. That you're going to talk about. Well, it's going to upset the little white kids because they're coming home thinking that their parents were devils and did really evil things to Black people. Oh, so you don't even your child to know what the truth is. So you think your child is not going to find out what the truth is, and you really don't think that you're going to lose any parental credibility?
Yeah.
You see, when your kids find out you're a liar.
And trying to buffer the information and the truth away from you. You gotta pull, with band-aids is getting ripped off. This is pressing season. I mean, people gotta understand that, these kids, and the adults, we're in the era of accountability. And I think we just need to all pull up. We need to pull up on ourselves. We need to pull up outside. We need to pull up as a friendship, a family, a community at these places. Like you said, get to understand and know who our constituents are, the people who are running our elected offices, the people who are in these positions of power like that, because there's something going on and people are out here really struggling, or something is going wrong in their environments where they're suffering. And if you can't take it no more, then you need to stand up and do something. Angry gets stuff done.
Right. It
And if you
really
fed up
does.
and you tired, that
Because
don't
you
mean
see
go
what?
crazy and go hit somebody up the side of the head and get all violent and stuff like that.
Right. No.
You need to be able to do this the right
And
way.
you got to do it like the kid they used to tell. Put your thinking cap on. Put on your listening ears. Pay
Yeah.
attention to what's going on. Pay attention to your kids. And if they're, their attitudes and their moods are changing, ask them what's going on. We've had, I don't even know how many. I know it's over 300 and something shootings in the United States.
Yeah.
Last year, it was like they talk about other countries, they're fighting for their freedom. We're fighting for our survival and our freedom. To have that many people killed from gun violence. And it's not the guns. Guns don't shoot people. People shoot people.
Yeah.
People kill people. Stop playing. Listen, I wouldn't give any money to the NRA, National Rifle Association, if that's what y'all want to do. I mean, y'all done got everything bass backwards now, and you really need to come to some sort of a decent consensus. You got a right to bear arms. You don't have a right to have a semi-automatic AK-47, AR-15. And when the military is telling you these weapons are built for destruction, what do you need that for? You talking about you going out shooting a deer or a moose or a cow, whatever? You won't be able to eat the meat. You will not be able to eat it because it's full of lead and all kind of stuff. I just wouldn't do it.
One thing with the NRA, I can say, just like the marijuana industry, they're trying to do things the legal way. Now, there's an underlining where you have people who don't do things the right way.
Right.
But when you put the face of, say, the NRA, they're the face of this type of conversation right now. They're the example. When they're trying to be the ones that legitimize or do things legitimately, and they're still getting beat over the head regardless of how much they're trying to do, it's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Same thing with the marijuana industry when they're trying to legalize it in all these different places. Yes, there has been unfortunate circumstances where it has been people lost their life or people have been on substances or anything like that. But it's hard to say that when it's been going on since the beginning of time.
Right.
Where, people have used a weapon to commit the most ultimate sin amongst their fellow man, which is kill.
They want power.
We're committed to it. We're enabling it.
They want power by any means necessary. I remember I went to an industry meeting. This is when they were working on getting the movie ratings. And so they had people from different communities and different parts of the entertainment industry. And I was invited because I was on the radio and I was on a very prominent radio station. So they invited me and I went and, I was like, well, where's the rest of us around here? So I said, okay, well, that's cool. I could, blend in with them, be the only one here. I'll stand out in the crowd. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. And they were talking about, do we think that the rating, that the video games were too violent for the young people, and were movies, too violent. Where do we draw the line between X-rated and 17? And if you notice, you don't ever see them movie ratings anymore. You rarely see a NR-17 movie. That was whatever they had in them. Now you could see the stuff on the TV now. You won't turn on TV and it'll say, okay, this will have graphic footage, and some people might be offended by the language, and there's smoking and profanity and nudity. I mean, it's almost like there's really no real imagination left, because they say sex sells, but after a while, when you get a certain age, okay, you may put it over there. I might want to be looking at all that. Then where are we? Where do we stand?
There's no
As
moral
a senior, the seniority people in society now. I don't want to listen to all that cussing, and I don't want to be looking at nobody's chi-chis. I don't want to listen that they look at their butt crack. I'm already having trouble hitting the lottery number, because they say when you look at people too much butt crack, they jinx you with the lottery number. But I'm going
I still don't want to see your butt crack.
Something should be left, to intimacy.
But
everything don't need to be out here telling all your business. Because, okay, after a while, after you're 19 years old, you've been naked on a TV show. Now you want to go to college and they see your naked butt on TV. Now, you really think they want you in their school?
But people will do anything for $1. Make you want to holler.
And see, that goes back to people thinking money can solve everything. Yeah. Money can't buy. Well, no, I take that back, because they got a program online that says, if you pay us X amount of dollars, we'll clean up your online image.
In America, they're trying to prove you wrong. In America, they're trying to prove your statement wrong. Lady Liberty is trying to make sure anything in America is possible that you can try to pay off. If you want to sit here and be able to keep others from living in your community, or doing things that you would desire to want to do, or help your own community out, or be able to, there's certain locked doors in America that have been locked for a very long time. And so these doors are starting to open up, because people are realizing that money has been the main problem in this society that we have lived in for quite some time now. And I think we need to change that dynamic right now, because what it's doing is everything that we support has enabled anything. So it's a enabler. We've enabled everything.
Let me ask you this, Prime,
capitulated.
because you own a lot of stuff, and you're a pretty astute young man. Can you tell us what Bitcoin is? Because a lot of people don't know what that is, and they're afraid that if Bitcoin takes over as currency, they will. Oh, I'm gonna snap my ring off my ear. Bitcoin is turned to, if that's becomes our. Is that what the world is looking to? One monetary finance, and that's Bitcoin for everybody.
I mean, I think everything has a monetary value. I mean, even attention has a value to it. As much attention that people pay to on this TikTok. So when it comes to Bitcoin, Bitcoin is a digital asset. It's a digital, if you look at it like Bitcoin is like the digital real estate. If you look at it like the metaverse, you would own a piece of land on that property. Bitcoin would be the land, the real estate that you buy that. And then, you mitigate that upwards, then you would have Ethereum. That would be the building that you would build on that land. So Bitcoin is the digital currency that's able to transact, everything it's taking us off of the Swiss system and putting us on a whole different monetary system that is moving things at lightning speed, where we're able to transfer trillions of dollars and be able to create a digital ledger that we don't have in our fiat system, our current fiat system, where we have a lot of corruption, where mass and energy, it does take a lot of money just to even move money inside of a Brinks truck from one location, from a Walmart to an actual bank. So the ability to be able to remove that capacity, which, hey, it does remove jobs, but that allows people to actually start learning different capacities in our society, which do actually provide more utility. That's what we need to be able to get our minds around. People things. Yeah, there's still jobs that are going to be needed. We still need mechanics. We still need mechanics. We still need people to work certain
Mhm.
jobs, but we do need people to actually elevate themselves and get more educated and highly in this type of realm of thinking, because we have a problem with our remittance payment system. We have a problem with our judicial system where the processes of things take too long. It shouldn't take 7 to 10 business days for you to get your check. It shouldn't take 15 minutes for you to get your money from Western Union or MoneyGram. You should be able to get your money. You should be able to get trillions of dollars.
That's right.
The interoperability of it, intercontinental over across border system to be able to. There's the problem with all of our systems is that they don't communicate with all of each other. Whether it's your medical system, our medical professions, none of you. It takes forever to get your medical records. If you were able to have something written in a written smart contract saying, I, Trayvon, leave 25 acres of land to my child when they hit 18 years old with a 3.5 GPA average, then that'll be able to ching. They be able to get that, and they actually
Mhm.
work themselves up to it, and it creates an incentive, and it actually can track and track them as far as their progress like that. We're getting into a digitized system where artificial intelligence and external intelligence is being able to help us in a capacity where we can actually start maneuvering way better. We can have this, and like I said, we need to start buying utility instead of buying all
Mhm.
of these trinket things, this random technology that it goes obsolete. Now it used to go from 7 years now to now almost 3 to 2 to 1 year now, to where we're getting a new product, new item every other swing around the year, and
Mhm.
people just get all googly eyed over the oohs and ahs of
Over
something,
the latest shiny
over the
thing.
latest shiny thing, and it really doesn't even have any substance to it. The thing with Bitcoin is that it is the most scarce thing. It is one of the most digital, as it's a digital asset that has the greatest valuation to it comparison to any other asset class right now. It don't matter if it's mutual funds. It don't matter if it's anything right now. Bitcoin has the greatest value, is the greatest value asset of our history right now, where it's able to be the banker of the monopoly board. It's able
How
to
do let me
mitigate
ask,
that.
and that's another thing that the former CEO of luluemon said. He said his favorite board game is Monopoly, and he does his business like he buying up all the property on the Monopoly game.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, if quiet as is kept, are probably have that same ilk, because even with the game, you wanna collect as much property as you can. You don't want to go to jail.
But look at what we're
It-
dealing with the system that we're in. People
Mhm.
respect Bitcoin because of the simple fact that of its scarcity. When you look at fiat currency, look how much money got sent over to irrelevant wars where they just piled up and spend money and printed up money, where you got people outside hungry and starving right now, and you sitting here sending money overseas to irrelevant things that ain't got nothing to do with the way we are supposed to be helping our own people out right now. That
What's
issue is what we have right now. But
that's
the beauty
that's
about
that's
Bitcoin
been a
is
hard
that
pill to
there's
swallow.
21 million Bitcoin.
But
There's
that's
only
been a hard
21
pill to
million Bitcoin,
swallow. You
and
know.
there's 19 million Bitcoin that are already in circulation right now. That's the scarcity
So
behind it.
who has access to this $19 billion in
We all
Bitcoin?
do.
And is it tangible? Can you see it? Or is it just, out there in the ether, and we
Well,
just have to trust the internet to give us the right information?
it's tangible and intangible when you look at both perspectives of it. Because all right, let me turn this on. When you look at it from both
Wait,
perspectives,
the
you can
light
put
went
it
off on
because
me.
you can put it on a because you can
Wait,
put it on
can you put the light back on you?
that's what I'm working on.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's a digital wallet. You can have a tangible item,
Mhm.
like a digital wallet, where it's like an actual wallet that you hold in your hand, like a USB hard drive. It'll look like that. That's a tangible item that you can have. But then it's intangible, where it's on the digital blockchain, where it can't be. It's in an encrypted system where nobody like a president or anything like that, or a dictator, anything like that, can just go in and print up and take as much money as they ever desire to want to take, or print up as much money as they ever want to take. And that's the beauty about Bitcoin, is that it has a scarcity behind it, that there's not going to ever be more than 21 million Bitcoin ever there. So if you look at the numbers,
Wait a minute. Go back. Wait a minute. You said that a little too fast. You
okay,
said there's only going to be a finite number of Bitcoins out
yes,
there.
yes, that finite number is 21 million.
So
It's 21 million
just get rid of
Bitcoin.
our $1 trillion debt. What does that do for that?
It, between
Excuse me.
when you look at economics, you're looking at supply versus demand.
Mhm.
And the supply versus the demand, the supply that is there is the 21 million. The demand is Every individual who is a retail investor, you're looking at every institution, you're looking at every business company out there, you're looking at all of the derivatives out there, you're looking at mutual funds, you're
Mhm.
looking at insurance policies, you're looking at governmental bonds, you're looking at real estate, you're looking at all of these different factors that are a part of our essential living and being, all put on an actual
On this little
blockchain,
piece of
on
little jump
on
drive.
something that we can actually hold to, and
Mhm.
it won't, and it, nobody could say that that wasn't the transaction that was. Right now, if you have a bill and you have a business, you can extort it because it's a cash business. That's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with so much corruption within the fiat system, within the SWIFT system that's been going on since the civil rights time. And that's why
Mhm.
we have an issue with our why so much paper exhaustion or stalemate within our systems, where we can't even get things done within none of our legal systems, within none of our judicial systems,
Mhm.
within none of our remit and payment systems. It shouldn't take that long to get anything done in our society. But the fact that money runs the world, the fact that we're trying to evolve it, and something as utility as Bitcoin is to be able to provide for us with that, I think that is essential. If we look at it, yeah, people may look at it like, oh, it's an invisible thing. That's not really people are it. That's the propaganda, the negative propaganda behind it. If you don't understand the whole thing, you have to actually do your research and actually read it. Like, go back to school. You can't be too cool to go back to school. Because those people get their ego becomes their amigo, and they think that they don't have to read up and open up the manual to actually look, open up the hood and look at the engine. That's what y'all need to be able to do, because these things are what our issues are having.
And
Yeah,
one of the things
yeah,
that we don't share in our community, like Charlotte Austin, hey baby, hey Charlotte. Charlotte Austin says what we need in our community is greater
literacy.
financial literacy. We
I'm
need to understand,
yeah,
when I was growing up, our parents never ever discussed finances, not one time.
yeah,
They would say little things like, "Oh, girl, I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul," and I didn't know what that meant. Okay, until I was robbing Peter to pay Paul when I was coming up.
yeah,
And they don't. We were not taught financial literacy. I remember the adult members in our family, most of them didn't even have bank accounts. I didn't have a bank account until I met my husband. And he said, well, you just don't need to be, stacking these checks up in the drawer. You got to take them to the bank and get a bank and put them in your bank account. I'm like, I don't have a bank account.
oh yeah,
And he was like, why don't you have a bank account? I'm like, well, I need a bank account before I go and get the check. I cash it when I need it. And ever since then, I must have been about 19, probably 20. And he took me by the hand and took me to the bank. And we opened up a bank account for myself. And then they let us open up a bank account together. We weren't married at the time, but they
mm,
see, when you walk into a place like you belong, like you act like you belong there, stuff will jump off. And it's like Charlotte said, we need to be accountable for our finances. We need to talk to our children. There's an author out there. Her name is Melanie Perry. Hey, sweetie pie. She teaches financial literacy to children. And
mm,
wait till they get to be teenagers. She said by the time a kid get to be a teenager, their attention span is short circuited. You start teaching them now when they're kids. I used to have my son, and I was kept. Okay, I know it's they say they want to discontinue the penny because there's not a lot in circulation. Okay, yeah, I got a lot of. I do. I have jugs. I used to have jugs and jugs of pennies and nickels and quarters. My cousin taught me how to do. He said, "Save your change. Save your change. It'll add up."
it'll add up.
And I would go and get my little money jar, and I dump it out, and he separate the pennies and the nickels and the dimes and the quarters. And he
Mhm,
said, I didn't even know he knew this. He said, "Well, Mama, what about the quiet money?"
yeah,
Okay, well, see, the first time I heard that was in church. He was like, "We like quiet money in the basket." I'm like, "What's quiet money?" And the lady next to me, she said, "That's dollar bills. They don't like to change."
yeah, and I think and yeah, we've been so used to that
Right.
system. We've been so used to that fiat monetary system that to even bring somebody into the new party, people looking at Bitcoin like, "Ooh, you not our homie. You ain't been in our fraternity, our club for too long." So already the the regular people like us wouldn't look at it and
Mhm.
accept it as
And that's what,
welcoming.
how would we go about getting regular people, school teachers and healthcare workers and the people that drive the buses and, the people that, the garbage men that pick up our trash because we
Yeah.
waste so much.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we waste so much. How to get them involved and for them to understand that this is a new way. Like I said, I don't care. The currency could be rocks as far as I'm concerned, as long as they help me get what I need.
Yeah.
It's just a monetary thing that you trade on. You could be trading on crystals. You could be trading on anything.
Yeah. That's just
So
market.
look at it. Look at that and especially as an investment. I was talking to some of my friends, and they were like, "I wish I had $5,000 to invest."
Mm.
I said, okay, you don't have 5,000. What about 500? How about we pool our resources together? We get that 5,000 and we invest. Oh, girl, I ain't doing all that. Why you got to be in charge of the money? I'm like, because I'm the only one with a bank account.
That's a person trying to pay off anything for convenience. They're trying to pay off doing the hard work with the easy money. And so when you run out of easy money, you're forced to do the hard work now. And you're like, oh, now I don't want to do it. No, well, you're gonna have to pick
You have to
one
do
side.
something.
Yeah.
That's why, to a point, I take that back. The young drug dealers now, they really don't seem to really understand what they're doing, if you ask me, because they're all about making a bunch of money, having a bunch of guns, being dead by the time they're 25. And I'm like, y'all could take the same mathematical genius that you have with taking something this big and turning it into something this big.
Yeah.
You got that same mathematical well, I'm looking for the word. You got that same mathematical genius in your brain that you could, break this stuff down. Why wouldn't you want to do that for some legitimacy?
Yeah.
Why won't you look at the fact that you could live a long life? You might live to be, get a retirement fund. So do something with it. Don't just think that you just spend all this money any kind of way.
Yeah.
One of our people online said what we need to invest in is life insurance because it's stable.
And it used to be a staple in our society in during the civil rights, before civil rights, because that's what they were looking towards because of the society that they were living in. They were living in impoverished times. They were living in a lot of racism, where if there was one thing that people were going to have was you were going to have a good service and you were going to have a good suit. And so from that, yes, we had structure as a community.
He said you got to get a new suit.
Yeah, but we were afraid to add to that the supply of our our tangibles to empower us and keep us going with that. We didn't feel like us leaving behind the things that we needed to keep our community upheld, like leaving banks and leaving these type of things that would keep us upheld. People bought into them and they dispersed them and ripped families, and families ripped it apart, and people got greedy and it fed into people's 7 deadly sins. But when you educate people and let them know, like, hey, within that life insurance policy should be a trust. It should be these things. You should be able to mitigate all of your financial assets. To where it should be a family business. I think people need to understand that concept a lot more. That we need to start having these dinner table conversations where, hey, listen to me. If you want to listen to the show, listen to Mother Love, listen to, what I'm saying? We out here, we're really trying to educate everybody and let everybody know, like, hey, it's going to take actually having conversations and blessing each other with the resources that we do have, because there are
and stop being afraid to do business with your own family and I mean our community family. We gotta learn to trust each other. And I think we lost the trust when we stopped trusting ourselves, when we started seeing all this white noise around us, oh, I'm have a baby by 3 different men and I don't have to be involved with them. I could just get my my child support check, or I have another baby so my welfare check could go up, and changing that mentality. You don't have to have that mentality. I didn't know we were poor until I was 16, and my mother told me she wasn't buying me a car for my 16th birthday. She said, girl, you got a job, you want a car, you better go get your I'm 16.
There's always
a straight student. What do you mean you're not going to buy me a car? She's like, I ain't even trying to set a precedent like that, because if I get you one, I got to get the other 5 one. And I don't like y'all like that. I was like, hey. When your mama tell you she don't like you, she said, I love you all with my life. I don't like her coming up asking me to buy you a car. You done lost what's left of your rabbit mind, girl. Get out my face. So and I didn't get it. My first car I got when I was 27.
Yeah, but when it comes to those life insurance policies and things like that, people money make people funny. And when you are gone, you don't see that people who say that they love you are like literally fighting each other at the throat to take what you had, not what they got. They ain't never even try to want to work for what they got. They ain't never even tried to work for what they got. They was actually mad because you became a mirror image of what they should become.
Oh
And
man,
so
have
people
I got
now
that in before? And I'm like, really? How could I make you look bad? You making me look bad because we grew up together and you doing all this highfalutin mother love stuff, and I'm still here. Okay, but that's on you. That's on you. You had the same opportunities that I did. I took advantage of the opportunities that I had, and I knew I had a focus. I was consistent
yeah,
on what it was. And see, at this point, I'll be doing good to walk down the hallway and remember what I was walking down the hallway for. But I
yeah,
have a reason for that. I've lived a long, I have, thank God, thank God, thank you, God, thank you, God. I got to see another beginning of a decade. And that's why tomorrow is not promised to you. You cannot, I'm talking about you, all of y'all out there in cyberspace, all of you
yeah.
all in No Mother Love, you are accountable for your life. It is time for you to take responsibility. It's time for you to man up, woman up, chick up, dude up, whatever up you got to be. You cannot keep sitting here doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. You got to get out there. I know a lot of you all are afraid. Do it anyway.
Yeah.
Do it anyway. You want to start a business? I'm scared it might not succeed. Well, what happens if it does? What
Yeah.
happens if you make a plan? What happens if you're consistent with it?
Yeah.
Talk about that. Talk about, what you love to do. Share yourself with the world. Stop being so darn stingy. This is why I love Prime Blaq, because this guy can be doing anything in the whole wide world, and he'll sit with me and talk to y'all and give you all the knowledge. Because look, I got 8 brain cells. I'm using up some of his because
I
this is
love
a smart
sharing
guy.
knowledge.
He just ain't another pretty face in the crowd. And if you're looking for a man, oh, shut up.
I
I
love
ain't say
sharing
nothing. I
knowledge.
ain't say nothing. I ain't say nothing that he free, single, and disengaged, don't have any kids, ain't never been married, and don't have no, and he not gay. And he dressed real nice. He cleaned up real nice. I'm just stating the fact. I'm just stating the fact. You just never know. You just
I
never
just
know.
try to share the knowledge that God has given, and I just try to be a humble servant and try to, I am helping the people out by spreading the knowledge and giving the resources, and that's what
And
we have
yes,
to
you
do.
are.
So I'm trying to
And
be a
we
good
we
steward.
just we just want all of you all to know that you are important to your community. You're important to us. We love you anyway. We're gonna be wherever you need us to be.
Oh yeah,
We will be there for you. We got your back. Cause this is what we do. This is, and if we're asking you to do, we got to be ready to do it. So yeah, go out there and find out if you haven't. Oh, what's the meaning of life? I don't know why I'm here. Yeah,
yeah.
you do. Go find somebody who got a bigger issue than you and get off your butt and quit with the pity party. Okay, this is gonna be our New Year's thing. We go, okay, let's have a moment for the issue. Moment's over. Time to go to work. Time to go to work. What's up with your Prime Blaq? Tell them how they
Yeah.
can listen to your music. How
Man,
they can talk to you.
I am Googleable. Y'all can go to me and Google and Prime Blaq. I'm on every platform. You name it. Just check back in with me every day, all day. I'm doing the best I can. I am doing the best I can to bring y'all as much information as we need. We need to come together. We need to put a stance to everything that we're doing. And so, thank you, Mother Love, for allowing me to bless the platform.
I got you, and you are a blessing, and all of you are a blessing. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you all. Thank you, Nick. Thank you all for chiming in and letting me know that you are listening and you are paying attention. Now go tell all your friends, tell all your relatives, go tell Big Mama and my dear and all them, and get all her girlfriends in there, because the elders, they got some stuff to say, and we got some stuff that we want to listen. Thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate you. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about the mother loving you. And always remember this: no matter how big or tall, short or small, thick or thin, matters not what skin you're in. Everybody needs some mother love now and then. Peace, babies. Everybody do. You know, everybody needs some love. You need love.